One, and possibly only, of my favourite things about school is the trips they take you on. You know, when you get to skip school for a day to go out somewhere like a laboratory where we sliced up sheep hearts, but that's a story for another time. What I'm mainly going to be talking about today is my school trip to Kingswood Camps at the Isle of Wight. So apparently there was this massive list of items to bring with you on the website. A girl told me about it when she saw what I had packed. I didn't see it, so I'd only brought stuff I'd usually bring when going somewhere for a couple of days. You know, a few changes of clothes, toiletries, etc. Turns out that list was complete garbage and everyone else had brung all those things for nothing. So I guess maybe it was a good thing I hadn't seen the list. We took a coach and then a ferry to get there, which was kind of cool. During the coach ride we stopped for lunch but ended up staying in the vehicle anyway because it was heavily raining. Classic London weather. Anyway, when we first arrived we passed the gift shop. As our headmistress was telling us when we could go to a store, a guy yelled out something. I'm not sure exactly what, but I could tell it was something vulgar, because after that the headmistress declared that never mind, the gift shop was now banned. Good job, dude. Good job. It took a while for the teachers to sort out the dorms and stuff when we finally arrived, so we all stood outside the building for ages. I was freezing to death because I was an idiot and forgot to bring a jumper. Regretted that decision for the whole trip, actually. When the dorms had finally been dealt with, girls on the first floor and boys on the second, I ended up being in the biggest dorm, which isn't as great as you think, as there was a lot more girls than in the other ones. But I'm sure glad I wasn't put in the dorm with the freaky door. Yeah, when going to check out other friends' dorms, there was one with this random short medieval prison-looking door at the side. It didn't even line up with the floor, just suspended higher up. You know, one girl actually moved out because it scared her so much. Anyway, before dinner we split into groups of like roughly a dozen. Basically how it worked was that each group did a different thing every day, circulating through all the activities. My group started with this climbing thing. It wasn't that interesting, but what I vividly remember about it is that when you got to the top, the instructor would ask you to dab. Okay, but to be fair, dabbing was cool and not cringy back then. When we finally went to bed, or rather, we didn't. Here comes the cons of being in the biggest storm. I swear the girls wouldn't stop talking until like 1 a.m, but it didn't stop there. The boys upstairs were like jumping off their bunk beds or something. Like we were talking and then we started hearing these loud thudding noises in our ceiling. Yeah, did not get that much sleep that night. The next morning, we all went on this thing called the 3G swing. It was basically a massive swing. After that we did laser tag. The only interesting I remember about it is that during one of our sessions the fire alarm went off and we were told to leave all our stuff and calmly leave the building as this was not a drill. I didn't really listen and grab my backpack anyway, and ironically it turns out it was a drill that we weren't told about, so we all filed back inside to finish our match. The last activity we did before dinner was something called Nightline, which is basically an obstacle course, which you went through blindfolded. Yeah, no one was really good at that. After dinner we had a campfire and that was it for the trip.